Hello, and welcome back. This video is about updating the logic for upgrade and breakdown actions. And a special thanks to all my supporters. Thank you for helping me help others. We're going to start with a minor UI change that should have been in the previous video, but basically when you put down a tower and then you want to break it down, it says cost of 100. Let's fix that. So to do that, we go into our tooltip widget blueprint. In here, we're getting our tower details based on the tower action and formatting that text. So with that, I'm going to duplicate the tower action. I'm just going to do a check is not equal to breakdown. If it's not, then we continue with our current flow. And in the case where it is breakdown, we'll instead just change this to refund. And we couldn't rename this variable, but not going to bother. So with that, when we go in and we look at the breakdown, it now says refund. All right, next I'm going to add a utility function to our game mode. We have our spend coins, and now I'm going to duplicate that, and we can have refund coins. In this case, we don't need to check if we have coins. We don't need to return a Boolean. And we can change this from negative, positive, or add. And that doesn't need to be multiplied by -1 anymore. We could leave it in, but we don't need that return value either. All right, next up in our tower base, in our get tower data function, we have this section where we're using the ability system component to make an outgoing spec for the gameplay effect tower attributes, setting the values and then applying it. We're going to just take all of this here, going to cut it, and create a new function, set tower attributes. This will take in those 3 floats. So I'm going to first set this to float, so I can just do that. And that was range, fire rate, and damage. Paste the stuff we cut. And then here we can just get range, make sure that it's the variable, not the function. Get fire rate. And similarly, like range, this one needs to be the variable, or get damage. And then back in get tower data, we can call set attributes and send along these values. I'm going to create another little utility function here, which is just can upgrade. So if this tower is able to upgrade, we're just going to return a Boolean. Just call it can upgrade. And with how we've designed the upgrade system, all this means is the upgrade level less than 3. And this is so we can write a new function called upgrade tower. And in here, the first thing we're doing is calling can upgrade. If not, it just returns. Otherwise, we take our upgrade level. We're going to increment it. And then we're going to use our tower data, split that open, and figure out the attributes based on the upgrade level. So there are a number of ways to do this. If you want to be more data-driven than the way I'm going to do it, you could include either the range, fire rate, and damage at upgrade level 0, 1, 2, and 3. However, that would add 4 new lines in here, and structs like this, they don't compact. So that would be going way down here, so a little bit of a pain. Another option, if you wanted your upgrading to be consistent, which it will be in this case, you could add a new entry for each of the 3, which is just the multiplier. That wouldn't be too bad here. There are, of course, a number of other ways you could do it. The way we're going to do it, though, is we're going to take our upgrade level. We're going to multiply this. Actually, I'm just going to change that pin. I want to change this one to a float. I'm going to multiply it by 0.5. So 0.5 will be the amount that's upgraded per upgrade level. So once that's multiplied by that, then we can also multiply it again by the attribute. And then add that to the same attribute. Which then we can set to a local variable. We'll just call it tower range. It's a little messy and hard to read because of all the lines. However, if you hover over any of the line, it will highlight it, make it bold, so it's a little easier to see. But to read this backwards, we're basically taking our range, let's say it's 100. We're taking that value of 100, we're adding to it the upgrade level times that 100 times 0.5. So 50 in this case, if the upgrade level is 1. If it's 2, then it would basically be adding 100. If it was 3, it would be adding the 150. So this is a consistent way to do upgrades per upgrade level. If you wanted a different number for each time, again, you can go back and using a little more data driven. So for this, then we want to just copy this and do it for the other 2 attributes. So we're going to have fire rate. Promote this one to a local variable, tower fire rate. And this is tower damage. You could also just make this 0.5 value a variable for the tower itself and then set it per tower type or anything like that. But once those 3 values are set, then we're just calling our set tower attributes function. And sending along those 3 values. And just for our sanity and whatnot, I'm just going to throw in a temporary Temporary, but I will forget to remove it. Print string, which just throws out these three values. And so lastly, in our do tower action function, we have our 4 build states here. We're getting our cost or refund, and then we're spending those coins. So obviously in the refund section, we don't want to spend coins. So we can again get our tower action. Compare this. Oops. Hit the wrong one. Not equals enum to our breakdown. Let's just move all of this over. Oops. So in the case where the tower action is not breakdown, it will just continue along with the logic we already have. In the case where it is, we want to use the game mode to call our refund coins. And sending along the value. Whether we're spending coins or refunding coins, we do want to continue with the switch over here, so we can just drag this over here. The branch is not needed because refund coins can never fail. So for our upgrade, we can just call upgrade tower. We'll add a return node here. It's not strictly needed, but if you change the logic of this function in the future, then that works out. And then the way that our tower building works is that we are initially creating a tower base. When you click on a tower button, it goes and sets the class for one of the other towers. And then down here, if the class has been set, it will spawn a new actor in the same position and destroy the tower base. So doing the opposite also works. So for breakdown, we can just copy this down here, set this back to tower base, and that's all that's needed. So if we run this, so if we place down a tower, you can see it says 200 at 0.25 and 5. That's range, fire rate, and damage, so the damage is 5. If we upgrade it, it says the new values of 7.5. You can see the values being subtracted at 7.5. Similarly, if we hit breakdown, it's going to give us the full 150 back, and there it goes, up to coins. And one last thing we can check, I need to go into our game mode. We'll set our initial coin value, I'll just throw it up to 2,000, so that when we put in a tower and upgrade it multiple times, it's now at upgrade level 3, super range. You can see that this button is still here, but it shows a cost of 0, and upgrading will do nothing at that point. So to update that, we can go back into our Tower Actions widget blueprint. We have our logic here. When the coins change, we're setting that button enabled or not. We can check to see that the tower action is upgrade, and if it is upgrade and we're unable to upgrade, then it could set that as disabled. Now I'm going to leave that task up to you, the viewer. But effectively what I would do is, first of all, this is getting a little too much logic in a small area. I would convert this to a function and then call that function 4 times. I would send along the action button and the action itself, as well as the cost. So all the values that are needed are available there. And then include the logic where the tower action is equal to upgrade and check if the tower is fully upgraded. So then how would you do that? You can add a function to our blueprint interface for the tower action and just have it call the can upgrade function that we added in here. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and would like to see more, you know what to do. And if you would like to support this channel, watch these videos 2 weeks early, or just want to download the project files, you can do so through my Patreon linked below.